So hello, you forsaken patriots. I got my brother Mel Carter, or as some people know him, or I used to know him as Carter. Some people might call him Craig, but he is my Marine brother from another mother. Mr. Carter, how's it going, sir?
It's going well. It's a beautiful day in Arizona.
Heck yeah! And you said what was it? Not Scottsdale. How's
Scottsdale,
how's
Arizona.
retirement life out there?
It is what it is. It has its ups and it has its downs, but just thankful to wake up in the morning and put my shoes on and head out the door.
Now you young man are dealing with what? A sunburn?
Yes.
Walk me through
Yes.
that.
One of my favorite pastimes out here is going to the Salt River.
Yeah.
As you notice, Arizona is landlocked, so there's no water. So whenever you want to see water in the summertime, you either go to a lake or to a river. So going out to the Salt River is usually my favorite pastime, and sitting out in the sun for 4 hours plus, anyone can get a sunburn. So even with sunblock,
Dude, you're breaking so many stereotypes that I'm not gonna even get into, but I guess black does crack.
it
So
does.
let's go back to Oakland when you were a kid. Walk me through your childhood. What was good, what was bad?
So for the most part, I grew up in a religious household, like uber religious. And that's just because my parents both, they had a checkered past, as
Right.
far as tragedy, as far as, just all kind of events going on in their childhood. They decided to create a bond and become married. And I was the firstborn out of my siblings. So we grew up in uh, a pretty a poor area in East Oakland, California.
Hmm.
Uh, but also we had a great, I guess, a great foundation of family with our upbringing. Aunts and uncles and cousins, live within like walking distance away. So I guess that would be the good part. The bad part, of course, is this was 80s, 90s, so the crack epidemic was huge. So there was a lot of killings, a lot of drugs, a lot of
Right.
just things you don't see on a random day in Scottsdale.
Right.
So, but I don't have a lot of bad. I have a lot of good memories, a lot of fortunate moments, of course. So,
So walk me through Miss Allen at Stonehurst. What's special about her?
so Miss Allen was my first grade teacher, Stonehurst Elementary, that's located East Oakland, off of 98th Avenue. She was I guess you could say she was my first adult crush, like in person. I had a crush. I mean, we all had a crush on her just because she had elegance, she had
Right.
style, she was very articulate. And for years and years and years, we thought she was white. I'm sorry, Miss Allen, if you listening or whatever, I'm sorry, but we thought she was white. And a lot of us, we had never seen white people to that capacity before,
Right.
ever. I mean, and I was in the first grade, so I mean, I only knew TV and things like that. But she was real attentive. She listened before she instructed. She saw our needs, and then she was able to exploit our needs to make us better. Um, and the crazy thing about that is, I ran into her when I was back home last month for a funeral and for Fourth of July. I ran into her at a funeral, and I just could not believe it that that part of my life I had forgotten, because so much has gone on since then. But
Right.
I just couldn't believe that I remembered her and then she remembered me. So it was a blessing.
Well, hopefully that's a good thing though too, because the teachers that remember me, I probably need to apologize to. And I love on your Facebook, you have you in a suit as a young man with your friends. And then of course when you hopped on the Zoom meeting, your still picture is like, man, I'm glad you didn't get dressed up for this. So what led you, or what would you think led you to join the Marine Corps?
If I could summarize it, it was to broaden my surroundings, broaden
Hmm.
my horizon, to leave my immediate area. I've lived in that area, in the Bay Area, for 17, almost 18 years of my life, having not seen outside of any state. So all in all, it was just to get out and broaden my horizons, see what was out there for me.
Third herd. All right. So, and then what made you what made you get out?
I felt it was time for me to explore another aspect of my life, to like close one chapter and open another,
Right.
uh, to try my hat at education, to try my hat at business, and just to see, just to have more to offer a conversation besides, oh, I was in the military, or oh, I was
Right.
in the military, I did this.
Ugh.
Because I know so many people like that, and sometimes it's draining just to hear
Yep.
nothing but military experiences. Even though those are the best experiences of my life, I now have more to offer conversations besides, I was this, I was that, we did
Well,
this.
dude, calling a spade a spade. I love hearing the young men like, yeah, I was a Marine. It's like, please be a good one. Don't be one of the bad ones.
Yeah,
Don't be a
please,
sweat.
yeah, yeah. Please don't embellish.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, oh please. So do you think Miss Allen had anything to do with you jumping into elementary education, or what
Not
grade did you
necessarily.
teach?
So I taught primary grades. I started out as a substitute teacher. I didn't even know I was going to be a teacher, to be
Okay.
honest. When I retired, I had this lull moment in my life to where I had nothing going on except for going to hang out, going to bars, get tattoos, bleaching my hair blonde, and doing all these things that I wanted to do as a
Oh,
younger
dude,
adult that I could.
send me a picture. Send me a
I have,
picture.
okay.
We'll put
I
it.
do have one picture that I hold on to, but
Please,
I'll never do
please.
that again. Hair is so
Okay.
precious, and I don't want to lose it. um, I would say
You know that's
just
cultural appropriation, right?
didn't look at it that way, but now that I do,
No, it's not a
I
thing.
will.
It's not a
I
thing.
will guarantee you, I'll never do it again. I'll guarantee that anyway. I'll never do it again.
We're kidding. If you took that serious, then you're on the wrong channel for that. Keep
Absolutely,
going. I
gonna make my
digress.
cheeks hurt, man, from laughing. But I was just snooping around. I was taking these little oddball jobs, and it was during a pandemic. I was taking these little oddball jobs just to give myself some kind of focus to feel what I wanted to do. Because, you know, at TRS, when you're transitioning, the first question they ask you is, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And
Right.
at that point, almost 20 years, I was at a stuck point. You know what? I went to school through the military. I got my master's degree and all that, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to relax and lay back. But after a while, that shit gets old. Just
Yes,
sitting,
sir.
you know, watching all these Netflix documentaries and a pandemic. So then I was on Indeed one day and I got I guess, a job offer to be a substitute teacher. I'm like, what? Okay, substitute teacher. Oh, that's not that bad. And you know, I want to work, but I want to do some light work. I don't want to be a full time worker after doing 20 years.
Right.
Hell no. So I answered the call and I joined a substitute agency, which was really, really cool. And I mean, it's good for transitioning veterans because it's light work, it's easy work, and not only that, you're basically instilling the principles that were taught to you to the younger generation so they can understand. And also, you give them a good example of what a service member looks like and the way we conduct ourselves. And that alone helps influence these kids. Once I saw the influence that I had over the elementary school that I was subbing for, I decided to apply for a full-time position next year, and
Right.
also recommendation of my principal. Um, there were things I loved about it, but then there was also some things that reminded me of military service, being selfless and being the one to constantly volunteer and being put in that position to where, you know, if you don't do it, no one else will.
Right.
It's very, very easy to get overwhelmed and caught up in a lot of projects and a lot of things based off of your high level of responsibility. You just got to know when to say enough is enough because they will literally take your soul. And for what they pay, it's not really worth it, I don't think, in my opinion.
So a bonus question. How many times did you want to knife hand somebody? And for everyone watching at home, if you got your thumb down here, that's not a knife hand. How many times were you like, you know what? Mm, maybe not.
Not necessarily towards the students, but more so towards
The staff.
the parental figures and
Oh,
staff. Now, one thing, especially about primary teaching, are the parents.
yeah.
So that was something that I had to learn to, one, practice patience, and two, learn the other side of teaching that is not it's not advertised enough. The nurturing part of teaching, leading with understanding and leading with compassion was something that I had to learn on my own that I did not learn in the military at all. So
Oh, right,
very
right.
yeah, it's very easy for us to be straight edged on everything. This is the publication. It's in black and white. You will follow, rules and regulation. But learning that nurturing aspect of it, I actually had to read a few books in order to get to where I was, to where I could confidently engage with parents and confidently engage with staff, and also be able to be compassionate enough to teach kids ranging from ages 5 to 12.
Right. Well, and sometimes it's easy to be like, well, this is a bad kid, but sometimes it is a bad kid, but sometimes they got crappy parents.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. And it's so apparent, it's so obvious. You can tell what they pick up at home, because children are like huge receptors of what goes on behind the scenes. I've had
Right.
students tell me about domestic disputes between their parents, and I'm not going to go into full detail, but I
Right.
basically knew this kid's whole lifestyle when he gets back from school, and what his dad says, his mom says, and just telling a 6 or 7 year old to have some discretion and leave home matters at home and things like that. I mean, looking back in the military, it was easy to tell, the Junies, the Lance Corporals and stuff, hey, you know what? Hey, let's not talk about home life here. It was easy because, you could just curse them out or something
Right.
like that. You could just,
Shut your lips.
yeah, don't
Yeah.
talk about that here. We're going out to the field. We're not talking about that. But having
Right.
to do that to like kids, 6 and 7 or 8 years
Mm.
old, it was a difficult task, but sitting down, kneecap to kneecap, making eye contact, not invading a personal space between them, because you don't want no Michael Jackson stuff popping off. You know what I mean? You don't put yourself in a
Right.
situation. Make sure you're in a classroom full of kids. You don't take them one on one, but being able to express to them that this is the classroom, that is home. Your mom and dad should not, they should not come up in conversations.
Right.
And also giving them the language that their learning curve is in, not speaking to them as adults, but having an adult demeanor when you speak to
Right.
them. It was a
Oh,
challenge.
oh, dude. So here's a fun one. So from the Doobie Brothers to Killer Mike, what's the number one thing that you've learned about relationships?
Ooh, man, that's a tough one.
It's not a stump the chump, though. I promise you none of those.
So, Killer Mike, um, I received a lot about society with listening to him. Just seeing everything with a clear and an untrained eye, and to be able to address um, social response without any kind of triggers or any kind of red tape. Doobie Brothers, on the other hand, is I learned tolerance, I guess, being able to tolerate things a lot more than I thought I would. Kind of put it in a different perspective, so that you are like, everything is cool. It's
Right.
cool. There's always a tomorrow or something. I mean, there's quite a few songs, but um, I'm more so of a Michael McDonald fan. So there's only like maybe 3 or 4 Doobie Brothers songs that I really rotate
Right.
heavily. But after that's all Michael McDonald. And that's Michael McDonald's pretty much been like a staple for relationships that I've been in, especially the more recent ones.
So for the uncultured like myself, walk me through Michael McDonald and what song stuck out in your head when you were talking because you went somewhere. If you don't
um,
mind bringing us with you.
so he has a song, I Keep Forgetting, and it has that you know, Nate Dogg and Warren G sampled
Right.
it. Where he's the lyrics, I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. I keep forgetting things will never be the same again. I keep forgetting how you made that so clear. I keep forgetting. You know what I mean? When you're in a euphoria state in a relationship, and I'm talking about like a dating relationship,
Right.
everything is sunshine, rainbows, and roses, and that person can't do any wrong, you know. And even
Their
if
farts
they
smell
kind of slip
good.
up, yeah, exactly. Even if they do slip up, you don't even notice just because it's just so heavy. But then when there is a gap or a distance and it does start to separate, some person in that relationship, whether it's, you know, one side or the other side, are still feeling some of those feelings. So if there's a friendship involved, like if you break up and you guys are still friends, it's natural for a person to just forget, but keep doing the same things they did when they were in the relationship. So then, therefore, you look like a clown because, like, why am I doing this? I should be reserving my heart for someone else. Instead, I'm still, you know, checking things off on a honey-do list. When this is over, I need to be conditioning myself for the next, which, you know, I do believe there's always a next, I think. I don't think people should totally give up on love, you know, based off of bad experiences or anything like that. So that's what I got from Michael McDonald. You know, I keep forgetting. It's normal. It's normal to, you know, forget, but that's part of the process of breaking that cycle. You know, you keep forgetting. You don't need to forget, remember, but just don't put yourself in a situation where you're doing what you used to do because you're not there anymore.
Right. Man, dude, you need to write some of this stuff down.
I should. I definitely should. I have my journal. I write in, but sometimes I can't even read my own writing. So that's another
Well,
story.
yeah, that's more to you to yourself, and you got it out, and it's gone. No need to reread it. But dude, I think you just gave a hip pocket class on relationships.
I only know from my experience. I mean, I could always learn more too. I mean, I had a relationship therapist that I got from the VA, and I
Yeah,
learned zero.
right. Now, how does that make you feel?
It wasn't even that. It was basically, I would say she was 25 years old and
Oh
she was a
Lord.
doctor, and she was basically scanning pages from a psych manual and email them to me. Okay, so you have some homework. Read this, read that, and then we'll talk about what we read. I was like, no, wait, you're supposed to talk to me about my bonding issues right here, you know, or
Right.
let me talk about my experiences. So it was mainly a death by PowerPoint. She had these little cute little
Oh,
slides,
oh
and
man.
every chance she got, she threw what she was going on through her relationship into the mix. And this was virtual therapy appointments. And I'm like, no offense, but you at 25 have no idea what I'm going through in my 40s.
And then she sends you her OnlyFans link, and you're like, "Nah, we're good." Sorry, mom.
That would have been something. Yeah, that would have been something. I would have put her on blast, like,
Oh.
hey, VA, what y'all gonna do about this? Fire her. No.
Or you find out she's a dude.
Yeah, yeah, on that note, yeah, no.
Yeah. Anyways, I digress. So now we're going to continue to talk as long as you want, but what would you like to tell the 50 some people that watch us, including my mama, or what would you tell the world? It's hard to sum you up in a sentence, but what you got to say? This is your time, your dime.
I guess be encouraged, find a hobby, find a habit, a healthy habit, and stay focused, stay ready, always stay frosty. Um, every day you wake up is different, so treat it as such. Don't treat today like you treated yesterday, vice versa, and that could be good or bad. Every day is going to be different. Nothing's going to be the same. Don't get stuck in a routine.
You're not wrong. Now, I am going to pick apart. What do you mean by be encouraged? Like, hey, Mr. Carter, I don't feel very encouraged right now.
In the absence of looking at in the absence of validation from others, you have to know how to validate yourself. You have to know how to encourage yourself. I mean, some people, I mean, I know this is cliche, but looking in the mirror and saying, hey, you're this, you're that, you're handsome, you're powerful, you're smart.
I see pride. I see
Yeah,
power.
exactly, exactly. But I mean, it's more to it than just that, but just having self-value. So you're not necessarily, I mean, it's good to get it from others, but it should always start with yourself. And there's no vanity or anything about that. But some of us had to learn that lesson in the late 30s and late 40s, like I did.
Well,
I'm able to appreciate and encourage yourself.
I'm gonna throw you a softball on this one because I think I want to pull the thread. So if God loved you and God loved me enough to send his son, who are we to take a dump on that sacrifice? That's where I get my encouragement from.
Absolutely, absolutely. I totally agree. I mean, that's where it should start. It should always be uh, a spiritual synergy within your own self-validation. It should start with spiritual health, and that believing that there is a higher calling, there is a higher calling that breaks down your calling is, I think that's something to be said about that.
And it gives us a purpose when we don't have a purpose.
Absolutely,
Where's
absolutely.
that beautiful baby at? Is he sleeping behind you or she sleeping behind you?
Yeah. Oh no, he loves that kennel. That kennel.
Uh,
That's his baby. He's over here. Well, he just opened up his eyes a little bit. Sharp, pointy ears like this.
God, I want to be on that. Uh-oh. What does that
Yeah.
mean? Oh, I'm getting a running out of time thing. So you have 9 minutes and 53 seconds.
Oh.
I mean, what? Dance off? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, it's been this week specifically has been like a roller coaster as
Talk me through it.
as far as subjecting um, urges, instincts, and not like nothing crazy, but I have old habits to where I felt like I was overwhelmed or bored or something. So on my own, without calling anybody, I would just jump in my car and like drive to a bar, or night spot, or do karaoke. But I've noticed a little change that this week, even though I spent majority of this week on my own, I was able to, I guess, suppress that because it always went not like desired. I mean, not desirable. I would go out, go karaoke, end up leaving my car somewhere and Uber it home. And then I wake up the next morning with a hangover, like, where's my car? Meet a bunch of people and forget their names and everything the very next day. And I was like, that wasn't very fun. Not at all. I didn't like that. I mean, do I love karaoke? Absolutely. Yes, I do. But I'm learning at this phase of my life that I don't have to do it every day. I don't have to go out every night. I can spend time until I get my son back at the house and everything. I can spend time getting some things done and focusing, meditating, you know what I mean, and doing some good things with my work.
Now, without saying it, but singing it, what's your go-to karaoke song? Give me a couple bars.
Um,
Don't know that song.
I don't know. I'm partial to John Legend, Ordinary People, just because of the tone. I could sing it.
I said what I said.
You said you don't have to sing it. That was the first thing.
No, I said without saying it, but singing it.
Oh, okay. So sing. Let me see. Girl, I'm in love with you. This ain't the honeymoon. Past the infatuation phase. And cut. It sounds different when you don't have a mic.
It sounded good in my ears. Dude, I was about ready to clap off the beat for you. I was that excited.
It is what it is. It's fun to go out. I mean, it's good. I picked up karaoke in Japan a lot because I was on my own in Oki a lot. So they just left me to my own vices. I had
Oh
no
yeah.
CO buddies to hang out with. I mean, all the time. So I was like, well, I'm not staying on this base. If that's what y'all thinking, I'm gonna take my gold card and I'm going to some karaoke. I'm gonna meet some people. And and at the time it was good because I mean I was hiding from what was going on back home. So
Right.
it
Hey,
was it was a good time. It was a good time filler for what it
yeah.
was.
And then we learn and we move on, and by the grace of God, there go we.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. What other good things
Ooh,
with 6 minutes, 37 seconds left?
I'm getting a little pumped, excited for this job, but also I'm wondering if I'm gonna miss all of this spare time that I have during the day.
Well,
I'm definitely gonna miss taking afternoon naps. That's for sure.
I mean, I'm not going to encourage you to sleep on the job, but I'm sure if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, but at that point, I wouldn't want to. It's just when you're so, and that's one thing I'm looking forward to, excited about is being involved and having things around me, having things to see, um, having conversations with people, meeting new people, and things like that. Even though the place that I'm going to be at, it's not going to be super busy like that, but there are some people that I get to share experiences with, or they get to share experiences with me. Um, and not only that, I kind of look at it as a privilege to get in your car and to drive to a place of work. Now, like having been removed from doing that for a couple of months now,
Right.
it's nice. It's refreshing to be able to wake up in the morning and dress up, or to set a gym time for early in the morning, take the dog out, and then just have a whole routine, have a whole day. Being able to schedule that, schedule my meals and all of that. I'm actually looking forward to it.
So, just a random question that popped in my head. So, let's go back to early 2000s. What was your PFT score? Did you ever hit the 3 hundo?
I did, but it was a mock PFT, and I don't know anybody from third platoon remember this, but it was sleet, it was snowing, and
Good
our
old
squad
staff
leader at
sergeant
the
down the
time,
hour.
I don't wait, I'm not sure if I don't know if he was there or not. I don't know if he ran it or not, but our squad leader at the time told us that it was going to count. He's also the same squad leader that turned in all my MCIs when I was a PFC, so they didn't count.
Okay.
So we went over, we ran it at Anacostia. Was it Anacostia? Yeah, Anacostia.
Anacostia.
And
Yeah.
the reason why it didn't count, we found out later, is because it hadn't been approved for a PFT route, even though it was over 3 miles.
Oh, yeah.
But I smoked everybody in that run, and that's why I was like 125 pounds then. And I had just got the rhythm down from doing pull-ups because Corporal Sharp taught me how to do
Yep.
pull-ups, how to just get it up there. So that was the first and only time. I mean, I've gotten close a couple of times, and my theme was 282 for
Right.
years and years and years. And then I think, what was it, 2014 or 15, when they increased the standard a little bit because
Right.
they brought the females in. So a perfect score was, I think, what pull-ups was 23 according to age or whatever, and it went up as you went older because apparently we have more upper body. I don't know what that foolishness was, and then crunches I think was what 115 or 105 or something like that. So yeah, after that, I mean the times stayed the same for the run, but then after a while, and when you carry so much stuff on your back, never thought it'd be the case. And then I was smoking. Oh, well, I quit smoking in 2015, but I was smoking too. All that stuff just started adding up, and then the 30s came in, and then my son was born, and all of that. And then I was like, man, I'll be lucky if I cross this finish line at 22 or 23 minutes. And I think the last PFT I ran before I retired was like 24, and I was happy with that because at least I
Oh, dude.
passed.
Dude, I'd be happy with a 28 today.
Oh yeah. But my CFTs were, I don't think, I've never gotten below a 300 CFT. That
That's the
thing,
combat fitness
yeah.
test, right?
I was like, yeah, once I got rolling in that and saw what it was, I was like, oh, there's no way I'm getting below a 300 on a CFT. PFT, on the other hand. That
Hey,
was the thing.
make a goofy face, and I'm going to call you on Facebook. Say goodbye to everybody.
Peace out.
All right, I'm going to call you on Facebook.
All right, brother.
I don't know how this works, Nathaniel.
Oh, leave.
Oh,
There it is. It's an exit door.
oh, I still can't do it.
Did it.
In meeting for all.